Hi, welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, welcome. My name is Shirley Howard and I'm a part-time fashion reseller on Poshmark and eBay and sometimes Etsy and Facebook Marketplace. So if you're interested in any of those videos, hit that subscribe button below to be notified when new videos are released. Today's video is going to be a very specific one to Poshmark and Posh Parties. The question today is, was it worth it to host a posh party? To start, a posh party is a special event that's held about 3 times a day on Poshmark. You'll get invitations. I'll show you an example here, telling you what the posh parties are throughout the day. You share certain items to the parties based on party themes. To be a host of a posh party, you must be a posh ambassador. So as a posh ambassador, I applied to become a host of a posh party, and I was finally picked, and I hosted yesterday, or more accurately last night, Spring Ready Posh Party. It was the last party of the day. It was at 11 p.m. That was pretty late for me, considering I get up and go to my regular job in the morning. So when I first saw the time, I thought it said 11 a.m. and I thought, well, I'm going to be at work at 11 a.m. And then I looked later and it was 11 p.m. and I'm like, I'm supposed to be asleep at 11 p.m. But anyway, I accepted the call to be a host of the posh party. It's not just one person, it's multiple people are a host of the posh party. So I did receive an email. I'll show you the email here. It just welcomes you, congratulates you, and there's a video attached to show you how this actually worked. I was very confused in how my phone would know that when I shared an item, it would go as a host pick, but I did all of that. It went off without a hitch, so that part was not a problem. So my big concern about posh parties is, are they effective? If you watch some of my older videos, I will tell you to share to the posh parties, and more importantly, to share to the last party of the night. And many people out there are giving the same advice to share to posh parties. I, however, was much on the fence, and I wanted to host a posh party just to see if I could finally, once and for all, come to a conclusion on how I feel about posh parties. So I want to show you what actually happened in the showrooms of the posh party I was part of last night. And if you go to your feed on Poshmark, and I'll show this on the screen so you guys can see this. So you go to the feed and you can pull up the posh parties on the feed. So I'm going to pull up the posh party from yesterday. And if you go to the shop button and you scroll to the bottom, there's a tab with parties. So right now, as we're shooting this, Best in Sweaters and Tops Posh Party happening right now ends in 54 minutes. If you go to all parties, it will show you past parties. So I'm going to go to the Springtime Ready Posh Party, as you see it here. I'm going to scroll through the page. I'm looking for things that say sold. And I'm scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. My phone is loading and scrolling. It's scrolling some more. Scrolling. Continuing to scroll. Not seeing anything in here that's sold. I'm not going to go to the entire bottom because I don't know how long this list might be. Let's go to host picks. Enter showroom. Here are some of the things that I know I put in here last night as host picks. Now, some of the items that I picked, what I did was I went to certain poshers, actually I looked up certain keywords. So I was looking, because it's a springtime ready posh party, for things that were like, flouncy dresses and shorts and things that would kind of match that theme, even though, because it was the last part of the night, you could share everything in your closet to it, didn't matter what. And when I picked a person's item, I put a note in it and I made a comment and said, congratulations, I picked your item for a host pick for the Posh Party, happy selling, hoping that they'd sell the item. Now, I've also had many items from my closet chosen as host picks. I have never, ever, ever had any of those host picks sell during a Posh Party. That's my experience. So as you scroll through host picks, and I'm looking for solds and I'm at the bottom and I don't see anything here as a sold. Let's go under the newest tag. And I will scroll, 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 scroll. I am not seeing anything here as sold. So I'm going to stop scrolling here. Now again, I've not gone to the bottom of every single list that's there, but on first glance, it does not appear that it was a big selling night, especially for the host picks that I had picked, because none of them were actually sold. As a host, I could put some of my own items in the closet as a host pick. None of them sold. So anything I picked or put in there myself did not sell. I'm not seeing a lot that's sold that's showing here in the party feed. That doesn't mean that maybe down further there's actually some things that are sold. So I have basically given up on Posh Parties, and having the experience of hosting has kind of solidified that for me. I'm not going to tell you to stop sharing to Posh Parties. They might be 100% effective for you, but for me personally, it has never been an effective way of making sales. And I have stayed up late and shared to parties. I shared throughout the day to parties. I've tried to be very diligent and gave parties a 100% chance. And then recently, I've completely cut parties out of my life. And the hosting of this party was kind of that last-ditch effort to see if something was going to happen. It did not. It did not do anything for me hosting a Posh Party. I do not want to discourage you. If you want to host a Posh Party, have the experience for yourself. See if you have the same experience that I did hosting the party. Even though I no longer participate in Posh Parties, I do not shop from Posh Parties, and I now have nothing to do with Posh Parties. I am still able to make really great sales without participating in Posh Parties. I don't feel that I'm leaving any sales out on the table by doing so. My goal as a part-time, less than part-time fashion reseller is to make about $150 a day in sales. And so far this year, I've been pretty much on the mark. Last year, I was looking for $100 a day and was able to get that $700 a week. And this year, I just amped it up a little bit, hoping to get a little bit more sales and to sell a little bit of higher priced items. And right now, the average price of an item that sells for me, I think it's about $34. So it's not low, but it's not extremely high. So even without participating in Posh Parties, I do have those daily sales. So for me, hosting a Posh Party was definitely not worth it. Not only did I stay up really late, because it started at 11 p.m., and I participated for the first hour, and I diligently shared what I had to during the party, and part of that too was to go into New Posh's closet and choose some of their items for host picks. So I fit all the criteria in that I needed to do, but at midnight I had to kind of pull the plug because, again, I do have a full-time job that I had to go to in the morning, and I did go to this morning, and just getting home after a long day. So my experience hosting, not successful. Again, it's up to you to decide whether you want to share to Posh Parties or participate in Posh Parties or someday host your own Posh Party. So if you have found today's video informative, educational, or anything on your way out, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Give me a thumbs up or thumbs down. Drop me a note in the comments, and I'll see you in my next video.